This morning in Ireland, President Biden talked to reporters about that leak of highly classified Pentagon documents, saying they are, quote, getting close to finding the person responsible.
Mr. President, could you give an update on that leak investigation, the leaked documents?
I can't right now. There is a full-blown investigation going on, as you know, with the intelligence community and the Justice Department, and they're getting close. I don't have an answer.
How concerned are you about this leak?
I'm not concerned about the leakages, and I'm concerned that it happened. But there's nothing contemporaneous that I'm aware of that is of great consequence.
The president's comments after the Washington Post cited a friend as saying the leaker worked on a military base, adding he is, quote, a young, charismatic gun enthusiast who shared highly classified documents with a group of far-flung acquaintances searching for companionship amid the isolation of the pandemic. The Post reports their source is a minor who was granted anonymity and who was online with that leaker. NBC News has not independently verified this report. NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Dilanian is covering the leak investigation for us. And NBC's Mike Memoli is in Dublin traveling with the president. Ken, based on the president's comments and your reporting, where does this investigation for the leaker stand?
Good morning, Anna. Well, the president said they're getting close. That's what I'm hearing from inside the government. And based on the astonishing level of detail laid out in that Washington Post story, it would stand to reason that the FBI is very close, because the Post disclosed the gender, the age, and the fact that this person worked on a military base. That would really allow the FBI to dramatically narrow down the list of suspects. This is really a case we haven't seen before. According to the Washington Post, this person began posting these highly classified documents on a Discord server as long as a year ago. So the military, the intelligence community was unaware that this was happening until very recently. It's a stunning breach that has my sources in the intelligence community absolutely beside themselves.
Mike, what kind of pressure was the president under to respond to this while he's meeting with allies overseas?
Well, it's a good question, Anna, because the handling of classified information and the leaking of classified information are recurring issues, it seems, not just in this administration, but with the former president as well. The White House did say specifically this morning that this leak did not come up in President Biden's meeting yesterday with the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. We've seen President Biden this morning meeting with Ireland's president and prime minister. Did not come up in the context of those meetings as well. But given that this morning, Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, deflected and declined to answer multiple questions from reporters about this leak investigation, it was notable that the president seemed perfectly comfortable discussing it. And it's worth unpacking some of what the president said. For instance, the president noting, as he called it, there is this full-blown investigation, that he was concerned about the fact of the leak, especially the breadth of this leak, but that he was not concerned because, as he put it, it does not seem that anything contemporaneous was leaked or has been made public. That's a claim from the president that is going to be certainly scrutinized in the coming days. It's also worth noting that the president did say that they seem to be close in finding out who this was. This was a question I posed to Karine Jean-Pierre this morning. The Washington Post, the breadth of its reporting about this case, I asked if the administration knows as much as the Post did. She said no, but as we often see, the president's willing to say more than members of his team.